Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is brought to you by the Friends in Recovery community, a thriving network of individuals who are fighting back against the stigma of addiction. Join our hosts as they speak up about the real issues of addiction, treatment, and recovery. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, here are your Friends in Recovery.
Welcome, everybody, back to the Friends in Recovery Podcast. I'm your host, Jersey Ed, along with Buck-Eyed Bambi, Nature Dan, and Jill. Jill is like Madonna, just Jill. She doesn't need any names before or after. She just goes by Jill. So we should just call her Madonna. Hey, Madonna, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm great.
She's like, yeah, shut the fuck up. So anyways, guys, welcome to Friends in Recovery Podcast. We are missing our beloved babbling Beth, right?
Ooh, bedazzled Beth.
Bedazzled. Why? I know, beloved. Get babbling. Get
her name changed 3 times in the last 3 weeks. So.
3 times. It changes every week. Yeah. Where have you been, Mr. Fix-It?
Listen, I was going to do Nature Dan, the Fix-It Man this week, but I was like, consistency is key for the audience.
I like that, Nature Dan, the Fix-It Man. So, I know Beth is on her way into the abyss to buy some kind of sewing machine, which I don't understand. You can go buy one on Amazon and have it delivered to your house, but she insists on driving 97 hours to get a sewing machine. Anyways, Beth, we miss you, and speedy return. She'll probably be back next week, right before the show, with her sewing machine. So, Bambi, how are you? I have you and I started this whole thing. You and I were like the originals, and now it's grown into this huge, 5 co-hosts. It works out well because some days people can't get on, some days people can't, and we have a great panel here, so we have a great, kind of go around. But Buck-Eyed Bambi, how are you doing?
I'm good. I sent my DNA test in, but it takes 6 to 8 weeks for results.
So they know. So do you know who the mother is? Do you know who the mother is? No, that's not
I know who my mother is.
Okay, Bambi, I'm sorry. Some people don't know. Bambi found
not the father.
You are not the father, Bambi.
We'll be back in a couple of weeks for the results.
Bambi found some broke ass family members that aren't going to leave her any money, and to me that's useless. So you might as well just move on. Why do you even fucking know? I'll be honest with you.
No.
if I'm going to find a family member, they better have some fucking money. I'm just too late in the game.
No,
we're going to need Dr. Phil on here soon.
That's not what happened. Bambi got extremely lucky to meet some great people, and to be lucky enough to be blessed with additional people to give love and support to, and be having extra people involved in her life, that she gets to learn about, if in fact her father is their father.
Well, that sounds like the family specialist coming out in you.
Dan,
you know what? I'm thinking his response is so much better than Ed's. It should be the Nature Dan show, because I like that better.
Really? Wow.
Just let him pound and pound on you.
Wow.
Mr. Fix-It. Yeah.
Listen, you got to come with. We got Dan K listed. You got to come with love and compassion at some point.
Mr. Fucking get off the air and leave me alone, Dan. You're fucking my show up. Who invited you here?
Just tell Dan it's going to be a great fucking day.
That's right, God.
That's it.
That's right, Dan. And Jill, you with that wonderful microphone over there. You sound wonderful.
Goodwill.
I bought Jill a microphone at Goodwill, and it's living up to his name. No, we had a little tough start here today, but anyways, guys,
order the microphone next time.
Yes,
yeah, maybe I better order it.
Should we just do business on here? You guys want to talk about the next show and when you want to, what time and anything else, guys? Anyways, guys,
I coordinated our clothing, Ed. I just want to point that out.
Oh yeah, you guys did.
Yeah.
Very nice. Wow. And
so did me and Ed.
Purple.
Black and the hats.
There you go.
Exactly.
The beard, no beard though. Dan K has a beard, doesn't he? You should see him now. He has a big beard now, Dan K.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait to see that.
No, he doesn't. We love you, Dan. Anyways, guys, if you want to get in on this shit show with us, please email us at help@friendsinrecoverypodcast.com or individually email me and Bambi. You'll see our email addresses underneath. Dan and Jill, we got to get you guys email addresses, so hang in there. But you can email us personally or call us at 800-989-6504. That's a non-emergency hotline if you want to talk to us about getting on here, coming on the show like we've been trying to get Kyle on, or topics, or even if you have some questions about recovery, we'd be more than happy to answer those emails or phone calls. We'd be, just remember it's not an emergency. It's non-emergency hotline. So I believe it just rings into a voicemail if I'm not mistaken. So anyways, guys, so with a really long-winded start, I think you were off a little bit, Bambi, by about 20 minutes, or somebody who said earlier we're going to start at 10:20, not or 9:20, and we didn't. We started at 9:50, so here we go, guys.
We were all here at 9:10 except you, Ed.
I know. But you know what that's good for right now? You know what that means? We can take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after these messages, which is where this is commercial is going to go, right, guys? Where commercial is going to go right here.
Are you a rebel seeking transformation in your recovery journey? Then 366 fucking days sober is the book for you. 366 daily meditations. This book by the SoberPod Recovery podcast host and professional rebel, Carl, will help guide you towards a new way of thinking and living. Each daily meditation offers a fresh perspective, practical advice, and a healthy dose of Carl's irreverent humor to help you stay sober and embrace the challenges of life without drinking, drugging, or shitting your pants. Whether you're just starting your recovery journey or looking for a daily dose of encouragement and laughs, 366 fucking days sober is the book for you. So, if you're ready to transform your life and become the rebel you were meant to be, get your copy of 366 fucking days sober today. Available today on Amazon.com.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Let's see if that commercial goes in. If not, we're going to look like dummies holding them up books and saying the commercial's going to go right here. Again, Carl. I think he missed $100,000 book sales when he messed up. This show is growing, guys, growing by leaps and bounds every week. We must have 15 people now because Bambi just had more people come into her family. So anyways, guys, what I did want to talk about, we had a good show last week. It was Get the Shit Out, right? And our views went up. I just noticed that our views went up from like the last couple of shows, and I figured out why. Not because of any of us, because Carl has a woman with her panties down to her knees sitting on a toilet bowl. I went and watched it a couple times. I'm like, I hope I see that chick in the video, but I didn't. So, Carl, you have to put something crazy on this one. But anyways, guys, today we're going to talk about a couple things this is near and dear to my heart because the topic, burning the boats, right? Burn the boat. And what that means to me and in my early recovery and even throughout life is, I don't want to say never operate with a safety net, but that's kind of what it means. To me, that's what it means. Like when I jumped into recovery, I couldn't have my drug dealer, in my pocket. I couldn't, go by the bar and pick up a gallon of water I couldn't do that. I couldn't have a, kind of a fallback. So basically to me, burning the boat means, calculating everything, right? And understanding when I'm going to take this leap of whatever it is, if it's a run, if it's getting to recovery, if it's, you name it, whatever it is, coming on a podcast, doing a podcast, whatever that might be, finding new friends, right? Or letting old ones go, burning the boat means, letting it all go and don't have a backup plan, because sometimes I know when I have a backup plan, especially in recovery, when I'm drinking, like I always tend to just tip a little toe in the water and now I'm going to go back, because the comfort zone is the boat, right? We're comfortable on a boat. We're not, if we jump on that island, right, and we don't build that island, you have to, start from scratch. Basically, is kind of what that means to me, is burning the boat, and so when I'm ready and I know that I'm ready to take that calculated leap, and there's never a good time, right? I mean, you guys, every one of us know, I definitely know there's never a good time to get into recovery. How many times do we hear that in our business, right? Well, maybe it's not a good time for me to go into treatment. Maybe I shouldn't, maybe it's not a good time for me to go to meetings and stop drinking, right? I mean, I heard that 1,000 times in my career, maybe 100,000 times in my career. But, once we burn the boat and move forward, you never look back unless you look back in that little rear view mirror to see how far you've come. And that is it. That's the only way I look back, because if I always kept that foot, one in safety and one trying to be on the surfboard, it wouldn't work. I took, coming into doing this, doing the podcast, doing my new job, I had to burn a boat, I definitely had to burn a boat, and the boat, for you guys know who used to sponsor this and who we used to work for, they even rebuilt the boat for me to come back, and I was like, no, I'm not. So sometimes those boats will float back to shore and they look comfortable and you want to jump on them and you can't. Life is much, much better now. So that's my thoughts about burning the boat. I don't know, what do you guys have on any of that on the burning the boat topics, guys?
I think you're exactly what you said. It's like you got to jump in with both feet, So once you make that decision, you can't half-ass it. You've got to jump in full force. And I think that's where the 90 and 90 that we hear so much comes from, because you're jumping in full force. You're not going to always go to a meeting every day. You're not going to. But in the beginning, you got to jump in right away, full force. Do it, call your sponsor, text 3 or call 3 alcoholics, talk, all the stuff. You got to just commit and do it.
Yeah.
That is true. Just jumping in full force and just kind of having at it, and just, understanding that this is, this is real life. And, I mean, how do we grow too, right? What if, Bambi, like jumping in full force, what if you didn't jump into this full force, like this like you were young in recovery when you jumped into this podcast, like, you didn't come on and say, oh, let me try it once, or, don't let me try it once, whatever. You just jumped into it, right? And you burned a boat when you came on here, basically.
Well, Ed didn't give me much of a choice. He said, just try it 1 week. And then he said, I'm sending you a microphone.
I burnt the fucking boat for her.
Yeah, and he didn't get mine at the Goodwill. So I felt, like I had to do it. So
that is true.
But you have to jump in all the way, because I think this is such a life-changing to go into recovery. It's so different from how you've been living, So if you don't jump in and do it, boom, full force, you're more likely to, fall back or get in that old boat, like you say, to do that, get in that, you have to form a whole new comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. What was some of the boats that you guys burned in the past? I don't mean, it's not in a bad way. It's in a good way to further whatever, your recovery, your career, your relationship, whatever. Anybody have any boats they burned?
I would say I took a leap of faith and took this job and just moved a couple states over, and it was the best decision I ever made. It's coming to, where I live now and starting this new position that went to another position. I mean, this company has been great to me. And it's all about recovery. And
she's talking about Friends of Recovery, guys. We are wonderful to Jill.
Yes, Ed, you're part of that process too. I mean, everybody on here is, and it's been life-changing for me, and I'm just, anxious to see what the future has. Yeah.
So what do you mean? So as far as, burning the boat and jumping into a new job, moving states over. So we know what it did for your career professionally, because, we know where you've come and how far you've come. But what about personally? Like every action we have causes a reaction for something. Was it good personally? Was it, what's your thoughts on the personal piece of it?
Overall, like I gave up everything. I just walked away from my house. I just made a decision, took a leap of faith with a suitcase and came to, Pennsylvania and started this new job. I mean, I had no idea what I was in for, and it was the best decision. So yeah. And I had to think about it, go back and forth. I don't think I just said, oh, I'm going to get up, go. I did think it through, but something told me this is what you need to do. And sometimes I don't make the best decisions in my life, but I think that decision that day was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And it turned out to be family now. Like, I'm grateful.
Dan, what about you? Have you had any of those decisions that you jumped into something and figured
I left, a career of mine, of being in a supervisory role and a whole totally different field of work, and just took a whole totally different leap of faith and changed careers. And, I burned that boat, and, but I didn't exactly burn that bridge. I could always go back to something like that. But there's always that piece for me, like in my sobriety, I delete all the numbers, block all the people, shut all those doors. When you say burn the boat to save the island, like that's a continuous thing in my life, even now. Like, you can't stop people, especially on social media, whether it's in a professional career or personal, from friend requesting you, from seeing your social media, from seeing your professional profiles that you have online. But you can protect yourself from engaging with those people if they're not healthy for what you're trying to do. That's kind of what I practice now, is I just, continuously keep my side of the street clean by keeping those kind of people out, and only inviting people in my life that are going to help benefit my life and bring positive things into my life and help me grow personally or professionally. Because if they're not going to bring anything to the table with me or for me, I really don't have any time for it.
And I like that because that's like anything, even in our recovery, like I don't really have time for that, right? I don't have time to mess around. Like I need to keep growing. I need to keep moving. And if you're not going to join me, if you're not going to burn a boat with me and jump on that, whatever island you want to jump on, support me at least, you know what I mean? If not, then we just gotta, and it's okay. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just that, I have to figure out what good purpose this is going to serve me today. And I love that, Dan, that you said that, just time for me now. Right. I mean, how many, I'm sure each one of us can raise our hands in that, that we never took care of ourselves. Like we were worried. I was always repairing. I love your hat, Dan, because I was always repairing somebody else's boat to make sure they were okay. And then they go and burn it and they jump on the island and they fucking leave me behind, And even recovery, I kind of did that too, until, you start digging deeper and know that there's a reason why we call it a selfish program, right? We take care of ourselves first. And that doesn't mean that we're selfish. It just means that we're taking care of us, because you know what? The people out there, they're going to take care of themselves, and sometimes they're going to leave us behind. And, we get standing there holding our hands in our ass and we're like, what the fuck just happened? I just, I just fixed that guy's boat and now he burnt it down and I have to put my life jacket on. He's over there, on the island with all the hula girls and I'm stuck in the ocean with the sharks.
Wow.
So
Jay wants to get on. He's like, I could say so much about this topic.
Tell him to come on.
Yeah.
We have to send him a link, but
he wants to get on. He's like, I got so much to say.
We lost our other Dan. So I think he's having some hard time with his video. Real quick, we got Kyle that wants to come on, but text Bambi Dan's email, and then we'll be able to get him on.
Send him a link.
Yeah. So Dan lost some internet, so we might have to. He might not do the rest of the show. I'm going to bring Kyle in. Kyle's in the audience, and he has a question for us, and I'm going to bring him in here. Let's see if this will work. Let's see. Are you with us, Kyle? Here he is. Kyle. All right, guys. Let's turn the echo off here. What is going on? Hear the echo.
How we guys doing?
Good, Kyle. What question did you have for us?
Kill that echo, right?
I'm trying. Yeah, guys.
I really like this topic, and I was wondering, how can you hang on to some of those old friends from your past? If it's possible, even. Because I had a lot of friends that I don't talk to anymore because I'm afraid that it's going to be triggering, or that they'll end up having stuff that I like doing that I shouldn't do anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's it's tough because all I have really now is friends that I make in these meetings, which I love, absolutely love. But there's people that I've known for years and years.
I'm going to mute you for a second so we get rid of this echo. So. There you go. So, we'll bring you back on the voice, the audio, but, that's a good question. Like, how do you do this? How do you do this with some of those old friends? Well, first of all, to me, people, places, and things, right? That's number one. What we talk about in the rooms, change people, places, and things. But sometimes you can't, right? Sometimes when you have kids, you can't change. I'd love to give them all away, but you can't, sometimes. But the people, places, and things. I think if it's a bartender, if it's a drug dealer, if it's somebody that's just not positive in your life, if it's somebody that's not somebody that's not going to serve you good purpose. It's just not, I just have to move on from them. And I'll be honest with you, Kyle, and thank you for the great question. I'll be honest with you that I don't deal with anybody in my past. Right. And, there's Dan said it in the chat on Facebook. He said in the circle of influence, right? Whoever we are, we are part of the 5 people that we hang around with, right? We become a percentage of those people that we hang around with. And I have to be careful who I listen to, who I talk to, who I hang around with, what newspapers I read, what books I read, what radio stations I listen to. All that stuff really influences me. So not just people, Kyle. I think it's everything that we look at. So when I came into recovery, they told me change everything. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What do you mean change everything? And seriously, I had to change everything, and everything got better. I didn't want to change everything at first. Well, maybe I can just keep the wife around. She's the ex-wife now, thank God, because looking back at it, it's hard when I was in it, but looking back on it, it was a God thing, and I think that my higher power anyways does for me what I can't do for myself. And we say that in rooms all the time, number one. And I wanted the ex-wife back really bad. Really bad. Every prayer was, God, please let me have my wife back. God, please let me have and she never came back. And looking back on it now, I understand. But at the time, what do we say? Be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. Right. So I hope that answered your question, Kyle.
Rejection is protection. That's what I say. Always.
Absolutely. Did you have anything to answer back on that, Kyle? I'm sorry. Bad echo here. Sorry.
No, that was awesome. Like you said, my kid's mother, I can't really get her out of my life. And, there's a big part of my resentments and stuff. So other than that, I pretty much cut everybody else off. I changed my phone number, did all those things, whole new career. I quit my job, walked away from that city that I got in trouble in completely. I was just wondering if, some of those people from my past could come back in, but you're right. A lot of them were bad influences. So, like my one friend who was always drinking and stuff. So, I probably shouldn't go over there. So I appreciate the advice. Thank you.
I did have a lot of people that respected me being sober, and those were people that were able to be in my life, continue to be in my best friend, John. He even went to a family day at the rehab to support me. So I think you'll know the ones that are safe to come back, and there'll be a time when, it really won't, I thought it would bother me forever, but really, I don't think about it at all, drinking. And, the big book says that we'll be able to do that. We'll be able to talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime, because, God's got us and our higher power has us. And, we have that faith. And so I think that some people, depending on, obviously you're not going to keep your drug dealer on speed dial or, in my case, the Instacart driver that brought my wine every day. But, the true friends are going to respect your decision to get clean and sober. They're going to want that for you. And those are the ones that you keep, and the ones that don't respect that decision or that feel toxic, they have no room in your new life.
That is so true. So, Kyle, thank you so much. I am trying to figure out how to get you out of the studio because we're going to bring somebody else into the studio. But if you can see a button on there, there you go.
You figured it out for us.
I know. I got to figure out how to do it from our end. I have to ask the guest to, sir, can you please remove yourself? We'll figure it out one day. But I know Dan, our Dan, Nature Dan, lost internet connection, so we're not going to have him back. But that was a great question, guys, because that can, you can go down a rabbit hole with like trying to keep the people you want in your life, and like you said, your friend John, he was important to keep in your life. But how do you know that in early week? How did you know that, Bambi? I mean, how did you figure that out?
I think that, they'll tell you, they'll display to you if they're true and genuine, like he was always like, do you want me to go to an AA meeting with you? Do you need to do this? Do you, never brought or even mentioned, and he's a normie, so he could drink, but he never mentioned that around me, didn't talk about it, at first. Was just very supportive. Like I say, that person even went to a family day to try to understand about alcoholism because he really knew nothing about it. Mm-hmm. And, thank God my husband is in recovery. So, he knew all about it and what it was going to take, because it takes a lot of time. Like you say, you got to jump in with both feet and you've got to, just do it. And if those people are not, you'll know, you just know. Like there is one friend of mine that tried to pretend that she was there for the right reasons, but it was always toxic. Every time it was like, she needed to, I felt worse. So I think you go with your gut. You intuitively know how to handle things, right? Absolutely. So I think your intuition tells you whether they're good for you or not good for you.
Yeah, go with your gut. And that is true. We know. Sometimes we ignore those signs. Ignore those signs. Go with your gut. We have Dan K that wants to come in and ask a question. I'm going to bring him in right now. Let's see if he get him. There he is. There's Dan K. We see him.
Pepperoni. Am I on the wrong site? This is not live ordering here.
No, it's not. It's not Sheets. Hi, welcome to Sheets. How can I help you?
Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Well, thanks for letting me speak a little bit. Hey, good to see everyone. I guess when Jill was talking. I've been through quite a few different challenges in my past as far as going from different companies or whatever. And yeah, I can imagine Jill's anxiety just picking up and leaving. That is certainly a tough thing to do. And I know when I was out in Kansas, and this was before Bright Life, it just didn't seem right. The place that it just didn't seem right. Sometimes you have to really take a look at your own self and say, look, okay, this is a nice job and everything, but you know what? I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm going to move on. You know what? And I, quite honestly, when I left Kansas, sounds like a Wizard of Oz tale.
This isn't Kansas. You're not in Kansas anymore, Dan.
I wasn't in Kansas anymore at that time, but it was. I was like, well, I told the boss, I'm going to give you 30 days, and I'm going to move on. And even at that time, I didn't have another position at that time. I was like, you know what? Sometimes you just got to say, well, look, this is not good for me, no matter what, and you move on. And luckily, I was just at the same time I was getting ready to leave. Matt called me, so. But, yeah, when you do talk about that the people that are around, we all have a circle of influence. Okay? Who we influence, all those people out there we influence. They also have that circle of influence and how they're trying to influence you and who they're trying to influence you. You always got to be cautious of that. Who am I influencing? What am I influencing them about? And who's trying to influence me? And why are they trying to influence me?
Right.
And so it's all those connected rings, and of that circle of influence. And you're right, Ed. My circle of friends is very small. It is very small, and there's a lot of reasons for that. One, you do want to keep things private for yourself, and it is some of it self-protection, self-preservation. You don't want to put anything out there that you might regret. I guess I give you an example. The other day, a person came up to me and said, "Oh, I'm so upset. I'm so upset." I said, "Oh, what's going on? What's going on?" She goes, "Well, I was just I was just engaged." I said, "Oh, that's wonderful news, And she goes, "Well, so why are you upset?" Well, I put it on Facebook that I was engaged, and one of my friends was showing it around to everyone. And I said to her, "Wow, why would you put it on Facebook if you didn't want that? Why would you put yourself out there purposely? If you didn't want everyone to know." And then I also turned it to her and said, "Look, right now, this is supposed to be a joyous occasion in your life. You're getting engaged, beautiful thing. I love my husband. You're marking it with this bad event. Okay. So now instead of it to be joyous, you're associating that this wonderful event with someone that said something to or showed everyone about it on Facebook. So why would you let someone steal your joy like that? How dare you let them do that?"
I love that. How can you let someone steal your joy? I think that's a question we have to ask ourselves in any situation, right, Dan? I mean, if it's a friend, if it's a job, if we're stuck in a job, if we're taking a job, that's a great, kind of question to ask ourselves.
Yeah. How dare you steal my joy? I won't allow that. I mean, here's a girl. She's getting engaged. And she's letting it be marked by that. No, you're not going to do it. So I said, "Oh, you showed them on Facebook." "Oh, yeah. What did they say? Did you like the ring?" I don't know, some bullshit like that. But don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you.
Yeah. But we let these people steal.
You're not going to steal.
Yeah. But we let people steal our joy. We as the individual are the only people that can let somebody else steal our joy, no matter what it looks like. And we have the control over that, or we don't have the control over that. And, again, thank God we're not on Facebook, right, guys? And nobody's going to steal our, no, I'm just kidding. But, if you want somebody to kind of run your life and steal your joy and control you, have at it, and the other thing too, Dan, I think what you said too is, What you also said, Dan, was, every action has a reaction. So whatever you're going to do, if you can put it on Facebook, if you're going to tell somebody, if you're going to, whatever it is, you're going to have some sort of reaction to somehow, some way that you may or may not like, and even in recovery, let's bring it back to recovery. Not that we have to bring it back to, let's bring it back to recovery. I remember getting to recovery and people say, oh, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to stop drinking forever. Well, yeah, that's going to be a long time forever. Holy fuck, he's right. How am I going to stop drinking forever? Well, I don't have to stop drinking forever. I have to stop drinking for this very fucking moment. Okay. And that's it. That's all I got to do. I can't like go into the future. I can't change the past. I just got to understand that this very moment, this is the choice I made for myself and for my well-being. And if you don't like it, you know what? I don't know what to tell you. Just find somebody else to drop the hammer down, because they ain't fucking dropping down on me anymore. So, anyways, Dan, thank you so much for checking in with us. We appreciate it, and it's good to see you. I think I seen you not too long ago, correct?
Yeah. You had lunch, didn't you, and dinner?
No, I didn't.
No.
Did not have lunch and dinner.
Dinner and blew me off.
Yeah, it's good for that. I'm coming.
I don't even know these people, guys. I don't know who they are.
Wednesday, can you make sure we're going to dinner, and then he shows up Thursday or Friday?
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I'm always paying for dinner.
Didn't we just get paid Friday, and Dan, his internet went out on? Tell him to pay his bill.
Yeah, exactly. Where are you, Dan? Nature Dan? What's going on, guys? So.
And he goes like this. Is it payday? And I'll be like, don't sit here and tell me you don't know when we get paid. He goes, oh, I don't even look at my bank. I'm like, yeah. All right. I said, I used to be like that when I lived with my mom, too.
Poor Dan. He's not here to protect himself. So,
that's
God.
What you
Anyways.
get for dropping off. You're open. You're fair game if you drop off.
That's right. You can't protect yourself. You don't want friends like us, guys. Get us out of your friend circle.
Let's still get small there.
That's right. We know who's not in Dan's friend circle anymore. Nature Dan's friend circle anymore, guys. Well, we're talking about burning the boats here. We brought Dan K in. Dan, actually, we work with Dan. Everybody except for Bambi. Bambi is self-employed. She's self-sustaining herself, and I think she's multi-millionaire, I believe. So, no, okay.
And she's a retired nurse, Dan.
Yes, Dan K. She's a retired nurse. If you need a nurse, there she is.
Nurses never retire. You know that.
Yeah.
We just take a long break.
That's right. To run Friends in Recovery communities.
That's right.
No hiring Bambi, guys. No hiring Bambi, because then this goes away, guys. So, anyways, but yeah, no, Dan's a friend, friend in recovery, and he also is a wonderful. I look up to you, Dan. You are, you're one of my people who I definitely look up to. So thank you for being you and do what you do for us in work and personally too. So that's much appreciated.
He already knows how I feel, so I ain't even got to say anything.
I know.
I can't wait to have breakfast.
There you go. There we go.
Guys.
Actually, I'll tell you something a little bit, and I'll let you guys go. But Chef Rubio, our new chef down here, is staying at the house, and it's me and him, and so he got up this morning, and figuring him being a chef, I smelled bacon and eggs. He's going, no, nothing. I didn't hear it. Come on, chef, let's make some bacon. It's Saturday morning here in South Carolina. Guy leaves me hanging to go to McDonald's. Guys, thank you. Do I have to click out of this already?
Yeah, just click out, because we are unprofessional. I don't know how to boot you out. So you can take over the show if you want, and I couldn't do anything about it. So
you can't see. We make a great team.
Guys, that's Dan. There you go. There he is. That's Dan K., our executive director down in Hilton Head of Bright Life Recovery. What a wonderful, wonderful human being that man is. Seriously, he really is. And we're lucky to have people that we can burn the boats with, and then rely on people like that. Us three right here, Dan K., Nature Dan, and countless other people. Yeah. People that aren't even really like in that inner circle, right? There's people that aren't in that inner circle that we can fall back on very easily, and just, kind of move through life, and they're always going to be there no matter what, even if we lose touch with them for a while, and they're always going to be there no matter what. And that's the people we keep around, the people who don't want anything out of our relationship, people who just want to be a friend or be a support system. I got plenty of those guys, and I hope I do that for other people too.
Of course you do, Ed. And I'm sorry. Dan knows I'm only busting his chops. Nature Dan, he is my ride or die buddy for life. But I still gotta bust them up, man.
Well, Bambi, anything else? You're the only other one with a good microphone, so.
No, I really.
Jill's like, huh? Jill's like, fuck you. My Jersey bitch attitude's coming out now.
If I don't get a microphone, I won't be on here. How about that?
That's right. Oh, really?
I gotta look professional. Oh, okay. Wait. I think I could have got my nails done or feet done real early this morning.
Oh my God. Go ahead, Bambi. Go ahead.
No, I'm used to it. Y'all, it's a good topic, and I love having the audience members on. I think that's really cool. We just got to perfect. I think we're getting better. You're getting better, Ed. The last one was very smooth. So, but it's always just fun to spend an hour with, an hour in I want to say pre-op because I'm a nurse, an hour in pre-op, and then,
an hour on 10 minutes on the show. And we have to close it down because we don't know what. God. And Jill, thank you again. I know you've been out for a couple of weeks. You've been sick. You've been working. You've been holding the fort down. You've been living in life on life's terms. So we are happy to have you back, and you will have a working microphone next week to get it done. And, we'll get you back on here so we can hear you. So, guys, I think that is it, unless anybody else has anything else they want to say about burning the boat. But I think we got our point across. I think people will kind of understand, about burning the boat and moving on, and that's what we have to do in our lives. So guys, again, thank you so much for listening to the Friends in Recovery podcast, and stay sober, everybody.
Bye.
This concludes this episode of Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. Follow us on Facebook for past shows and updates, and enjoy free access to twice daily support meetings. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.